Good morning, Oracles. Well, Tesla had a wonderful red day yesterday, down 7.1%. RSI is down to 36. If you saw my video last night, we were discussing how the Fed is most likely going to be raising the rate 75 basis points. So we might see a bounce coming off of this. Now, the low that we had previously was $620. And that is the number that I am paying attention to because that is the lowest low that we have hit so far this year. So if we go below that, that is now signaling that we are making a lower low than we had before. If we are bouncing where we're at now and continue to go up and do not come down to that level, then to me that signals that we have hit a bottom. Again, we don't know. The future is only going to tell us when we get there what is happening, but these are little signals that I am paying attention to. And another thing I've been paying attention to are the analyst ratings. And this is something I go all the way back and, when it comes to analysts one-on-one, there's so much differing opinions. They can go anywhere from $200 up to $1,600. And, we've discussed it before on here, just so many different ways of valuing Tesla. So what I pay attention to is the common thoughts and processes behind all of them. And then I take a look and see what's going on when it comes to how they're rating it. And so for me, I have seen a few so far where analysts have lowered their price targets, but they have raised their rating. So for instance, RBC lowered their price target, but they raised the rating from a sector perform to outperform. This is not the first time we have seen that this year. So this tells me that fundamentally, analysts see Tesla as a very strong company going forward, but because they're bringing the price target down, most of that is macro related. So they're seeing, hey, the macro environment is not doing well. Most stocks are getting compressed right now. That's just the environment that we're in. But we do see Tesla as one of the best companies that are out there, so we're going to raise the rating on them. This is a very bullish sign as far as I'm concerned, because when we do end up getting out of this, that just means that Tesla is going to be one of the, if not the top performer coming out. Now, we did see our first, as far as I know, our first electric vehicle company that has gone bankrupt. We've got Electric Last Mile Solutions declared bankruptcy yesterday. They went public in June 2021, so it's not like they were around for a long time, just 1 year, but that is the start. So if we start going into a deeper recession, or some people said a depression, I don't want to go that far, but if we continue to get deeper and deeper into this, the more and more companies will start to fall. And when we start seeing more and more companies fall, we're going to start to see that domino effect take over. Now, when it comes to Tesla, of course, nobody's going to be immune from a macro environment such as this. We've seen that in the stock price. So when we get into this, it's going to be whoever has the best fundamentals that are going to survive and do the best coming out of it. And seeing as some companies are going to fall, there's going to be a lot more room for these companies that are strong to grow into. And so which companies are going to fall? The companies who do not have cash flow generation, the companies who do not have a stockpile of cash, and the companies who have massive debt. Tesla has all of those on the other side. Tesla has a ton of cash flow coming in, a giant stockpile of cash, and they have no debt. So Tesla is standing very strong at the top for all of this. Legacy Auto has a massive pile of debt, and their cash flow is kind of in limbo right now. They can't get supplies to make vehicles to get the cash flow coming in that they used to have, and they're trying to transition over to EVs at the same time. Now, I was having a discussion with someone over on Twitter today discussing how when it comes to Legacy Auto, who do they sell to? They either sell to giant corporations who may end up themselves going bankrupt and in turn won't need those vehicles because they don't have employees, or they sell them to dealerships, which, by the way, dealerships are going to end up going to the wayside when EVs come out, because having to sell their vehicles to a dealership who are then going to mark up the vehicles even more is going to be an unprofitable business for Legacy Auto. Ford has already announced that they're going to start going to direct sales. So by doing this, it's going to come down to a competition of who has best direct sales. And when Legacy Auto has been dealing with dealerships who have people in other places to sell vehicles, Legacy Auto just has to sell to their dealerships. And a lot of times they have contracts with their dealerships who say, you need to buy X number of vehicles from us, and this way they get their sales. and then it's up to the dealerships to make those sales actually happen on the other end. Now, Legacy Auto is going to have to do that themselves. They haven't done that in many, many, many years, many, many decades. So they do not have this system down because they're so used to just selling to dealers. And they have to make this transition, and Tesla's been doing it seamlessly. That's just how they started. That's how their operations go. And so we're moving into that place where Legacy Auto is going to be fumbling. And will they go bankrupt? I know many of you think that they will be. I don't know. I'm not one who's going to predict whether they will or not. But my thoughts on it are, if they don't go bankrupt, we may end up seeing a merger of some of them just because, they're going to be in a place of desperation. And I don't know if the government's going to be able to bail them out this time, because they bailed them out before and they didn't get their money back. And if they started to bail them out now, a lot of people are already looking at this administration going, well, you clearly have a strong tie to the UAW, so if you bail them out, that's kind of just a blatant, red flag. But by the way, we see what's going on here. You're just giving them money to keep them alive when they really shouldn't be. And when we start to look at Legacy Auto and Tesla, and everybody's like, oh, Tesla hasn't solved FSD yet. Are they actually going to solve it? You got to remember that Legacy Auto hasn't even faced many of the problems that Tesla has already solved. Vertical integration, battery production, insurance, supply chain issues, margins over 30%. Legacy Auto hasn't solved any of that. They're not even profitable with many of their EVs yet, if at all. So Tesla has already solved all of these issues. They have learned from experience. They have gotten there. Legacy Auto still has to get there. Startups are at least moving in that right direction because they started that way. But do startups have enough capital and cash flow coming in to weather a storm if we get into a deep recession? Again, we have yet to see this. Tesla has positioned themselves as by far the leader of all of these companies to be able to get through this the strongest. So we have yet to see what's going to play out in the future. But either way, seeing where Tesla is moving, I don't see any other company out there that can possibly catch them by 2025, as some people have said that they would do. And I did add a little bit to Tesla yesterday. I added at $673, $10, and I put another $10 in at $651. So for me, I'm actually changing my strategy a little bit. I'm saving a lot more cash when it comes to other stocks. Tesla, I'm leaving the same. I'm leaving my $15 every day as my dollar cost average. So I'm setting that up there. And then I'm still adding as we dip. I'm just not adding as much because as we turn around, it's not going to be a straight up turn. I'm waiting for that clear signal, and then I will start dumping in money heavier. I want to have a larger stockpile of cash for that moment. I'm definitely going to be getting to my 10 shares prior to the split, so that's not going to be an issue for me. I might even actually get up to 11 or 12 shares by the time we get to the split, especially if we continue to pull back further. And now thinking about the split, I know we've had many discussions about this, about how the stock price should be coming down lower. If they want it for employees, it should be lower. But then I had a little light bulb go off and think that if Elon is thinking, super bad feelings about the future of the economy, maybe he's actually anticipating what Chicken Genius had mentioned yesterday in a video about a stock market crash coming. Maybe they're doing a 3-to-1 split because maybe Elon thinks that the stock price is going to pull back under $500. I don't know. I can't read his mind. But, if we do pull down to that level, now we're starting to get closer to the, $100 to $150 level that many of us were thinking about when it comes to, price targets for what we're looking at for employees. So maybe that's what he sees. Elon has already kind of alluded to the fact that he sees a really rough time coming and that he's good with it. He actually thinks it's a good thing, but it's not really phasing him. He's been through it before with these other companies, and he's been through it during times where he was in companies that needed money. He now has a company that doesn't need money. So he could be a little more comfortable about this situation, but obviously still cautionary, which is why they're doing layoffs, but kind of rebalancing their employees. So they still have a lot of hiring going on in Berlin, but they are laying off some higher end management in other areas. Because right now, production is key. And Elon tweeted today that, they had a lot more demand coming in for right-handed vehicles than they had anticipated. So by having that demand coming in, that just says, oh, we definitely need to build another factory somewhere. They got the in-flight from Indonesia, so perhaps that's where they're going to go because they have right-handed vehicles over there. Plus they have some of the largest nickel reserves there, and they're going to be putting up a battery factory. So Elon has already said that having everything all in one place, localized, makes the most sense when it comes to logistics. It's kind of a no-brainer. So I think we are definitely going to see a factory announcement in Indonesia by the end of the year. And that's going to be great news, and they're going to get it ramped up as quickly as possible. Now my thoughts are, and my question to you is, do we think that Indonesia is going to be able to put up a factory as fast as Shanghai did? You know, we know Berlin had a lot of red tape that they had to go through, but it looks like the Indonesian government is excited about this. So I have no doubt that if they decide to go with Indonesia, it will be an expedited process to get this thing up and running, which could be amazing for Tesla to get another factory built very quickly with a lot of employees who are excited to get in there and help build these vehicles. And so yes, it was definitely an ugly day yesterday. We have seen lots of ugly days for Tesla over the course of this year. But again, take that step back and pull your emotions out and look at the fundamentals of the company and where we are going. These are cycles that we go through. You know, we're going to go through some very rough times when it comes to the economy, when it comes to the stock market, but we've pulled out every single time, and we're going to do the same this time. It's just a matter of when. And so we'll wait to see when that happens, but when you're looking at the fundamentals of the company, that is what is going to pull us out the strongest. That's what's going to make us be like the Apples, the Amazons, and the Googles coming out of the housing crash recession of 2008 and 2009. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is in the description down below. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, there's a link to Patreon down there as well. And I do share my spreadsheets for my income and investments, as well as my Tesla price targets through 2032 and my production projections through 2022. Thank you so much. Have a great one.